people of the internet? Welcome back to another video. It is I, Don Thomas, back in here with another one. As always, folks, the likes, the comments, the subscribes are all greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for the support on this channel. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into today's topic, folks. I got a video pulled up here from a channel on YouTube called RNZ, in which they entitled the video, "The Teens Saying No to Social Media and Yes to Brick Phones." Sounds like an interesting topic, folks. Of course, as of late, I've been talking about millennials and Gen Zs and the plight and the struggle, of course, that our generation, my generation, of course, being a millennial and the younger generation has been going through. Saw the title, it kind of struck out to me, man. Usually we hear Gen Zs addicted to social media and TikTok and these apps and this, that, and the other. So I thought this was interesting. Group of teens who say they're done with social media and going to brick phones. You guys remember what a brick phone was? Let's watch this video, of course. I'll share my thoughts. I encourage you guys to share your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let's get into it.
Today I got the ZTE custom background by me, the one and only.
This is a Nokia Flip. It's pretty pricey for a brick. I think it was like $150, but my parents blessed me.
Oh, it's MobiWire. I think it's like a 1NZ brick phone. Bought it from Countdown for $40 on a sale, I think.
And Connor's dad actually said he'd get us a grand, like whoever got a phone last would get a grand, but then he just kind of pulled the plug because he got brick phones.
Yeah.
So we kind of got scammed, but in a good way, because it kind of ended up better than what it would have been, so I'm not mad about it.
We catch a bus to school and just everyone's like this, just head on the seat in front of them, just probably watching some naughty things. And so we were like, oh, I don't know, we'll try to be good kids. But yeah, just, I don't know, didn't look that fun.
Well, I actually had Instagram for like a while. But yeah, same thing,
Just on your computer though.
Oh yeah, my computer and my mum's phone, but I wasn't very good at like, probably the addiction side of it, just like, I wasn't very good at like controlling how much time I spent on it.
Did you feel like you were missing out?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like
I just didn't have anyone to talk to on the bus, and you know what I'm saying, because they're on their phone. Sometimes I just wouldn't know about things because they'll have it on a group chat on something and I can't get on group chats on my brick phone. So I just wouldn't go to stuff because I had no idea about it. My ex-girlfriend still has a brick phone, converted her.
He said he would.
A few people from youth group have one.
Nice.
A couple of my other mates got one, but I guess it kind of caught on a little bit, but not heaps.
Oh yeah, not really.
But again, yeah, just heaps of people say, oh, I wish I could have a brick phone, that's so cool, but they just don't get one.
I'm a bit scared that I'll like, when I get one, I'll be like, oh, what is this? Like a new drug or whatever, and just get addicted to it. But for now, it's when I'm still in school and living at home, it's fine.
Yeah, definitely having friends makes it the easiest. It'd be pretty hard if you're by yourself.
Well, yeah, like being with friends, like people might just like, oh, you're a weirdo with no phone, but then like a group of weirdos is you feel fine in. But if, I think by yourself it'll be a lot harder.
Let's pause it right there, folks. There you saw it. I clap it up to those young brothers, man. Brick phones. Of course, depending on what year you were born, you might see some of these phones and like, what the hell is that? But believe it or not, young generation, these iPhones weren't always a thing. Brick phones, phones that didn't have Instagram and TikTok and social media, whatever the case is. When a phone, all it did was store your contacts so you could call your friends, call the people that you needed to do, and that was about it. Ringtones and funny wallpapers and things of that nature. That's what I remember phones used to look like back in the day, to be completely honest. And I commend these brothers, man. I look at them as innovators. These dudes are fighting back on the matrix. And in the long run, I would argue if they keep up with this trend that their mental health, their mental and emotional health will thank them in the long run, to be completely honest, folks. These brick phones, of course, flip phones, brick phones. You see the capabilities? This is what phones used to look like. Young homies who may be watching. Now I got younger nieces who, when this phone was out, they weren't even born. When these were the phones, remember these phones, folks? All my older people now, a flip phone. Remember when this phone was the thing to have? Times were a lot easier back then. No doom scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. You have a phone like this, all that scrolling is out the window. A phone was just a means of communication. This is a number that you could reach me. This is a number that we could have a conversation. That's it. Folks, in the year 2025, man, I think these kids are onto something. And again, I would argue that their mental and emotional health will thank them for this in the long run. Because we are in a society right now that champions these phones, and we sit and scroll. We spend hours, some people hours upon scrolling on a phone with no benefit. Now, it's a gift and a curse. I'll say this honestly, man. Yeah, there is a level of convenience that comes with having a smartphone, right? Check your banking apps. It's basically a small computer in your pocket, right? So I'm not going to sit here and say that these smartphones don't have any type of benefits, whatever the case is. But in the long term, these phones, of course, is a way to combat the doom scrolling on social media. Of course, the video is entitled, "These Teens Are Saying No to Social Media and Yes to Brick Phones," right? So I commend them. I commend them a lot as well, too. I think these phones in particular, of course, would help you combat if you're somebody who struggles with social media, you can't seem to get enough of TikTok and Instagram and watching other people, whatever the case is. There's no TikTok on this phone. You don't got to worry about that on this phone. No Instagram, no TikTok. And of course, you heard them speak on that, of course, in the video as well, too. Yeah, you missed out on some things. Maybe there's some things happening online or in a group chat that you're just not aware about. Okay, cool. Cause and effect, right? You miss out on some things, but the overall collateral damage, right? The cost differential that you could say in the long run towards your mental and emotional health, I would argue that these kids are onto something. Maybe we should take a page out of their book and see to it that we can be back outside and hang with our friends. You see, these guys are having a good time. Skateboarding, outside. This is what childhood used to look like. This is what childhood used to look like. I remember a period of time where I was having this conversation with somebody else as well, too. I grew up in the generation where you had to literally leave your house, get on your bike, get on your scooter, get on your skateboard, and stroll over to your friend's house, knock on the door, and ask if little Timmy could come out and play. That's what I came out on. There was house phones, right? Had a house phone and maybe one in the kitchen, one in the living room, and then we had cordless phones. Okay, you could be a little bit mobile, but it was in the phone. And the only way you could know if your friend could come outside, either call them or you went and knocked on his door. That's a foreign concept for the youth of today. Imagine having to ride your bike or ride your scooter over to a friend's house to knock on the door and ask, "Hey, can little Timmy come out and play?" At that point, their mom or dad will tell them yes or no. I came up in that generation. That's a foreign concept. Those days are finished. But I commend these dudes, man, because why? They're still happy. Yeah, they might be the outcasts in their community or their generation, whatever the case is, but they're still a band of brothers who are enjoying themselves, having fun. And I would argue again, as I said, their mental health and emotional health will thank them for it in the long run. If you're somebody that suffers from fear of missing out, FOMO as they call it, then this might be a little bit harder for you as well too. But it's almost like this is a drug, folks. This phone, yeah, a gift and a curse. But there's people that we do know have social media addiction. That's a real thing. And brain rot with the content and the overload of the things that we get from these phones, the overload. No, regardless of the app, whether it's WhatsApp, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever the case is, I don't think humans were supposed to be inputting all this information, a lot of the times toxic and destructive information, into their mindset, into their psyche at the rate at which we're doing right now, folks, to be completely honest. In 2025, anybody who's walking around with a brick phone or flip phone, whatever the case is, I commend them. I commend them. And honestly, if you ever see me at one point, if it ever gets to the point where enough is enough and you see me walking around with a flip phone, just mind your business. Don't say nothing. Don't worry about that. Just know I've had enough and I'm at my wit's end if you ever see me reverting back to this here type of phone. But I get it again. Am I a fan of technology and, nice gadgets and a fan of convenience and ease and simplicity? Yeah. Because, of course, this is how we could call it Uber. We could call Uber Eats, this, that, and the other. Don't get me wrong. Of course, on a phone like this, there's no Uber. You can't call it Uber. You can't call Uber Eats and all of that on a phone like this, that, and the other. I get it. But again, technology is a gift and a curse. I think we need moderation, basically, folks. We need levels of moderation, and we need to put a little bit of systems in place so that way we are control, right? I always say, we as humans, we got to be in control of these devices. We got to stay in control. Don't let these devices control you. You got to control them. So shout out to these young teens, of course, that have reverted back to brick phones and flip phones in this modern era of smartphones and gadgets and devices. Shout out to them. And I commend them on their journey of fighting back and taking back power for themselves and getting outside and hanging with their friends and having human connections, right? That's what I took away from this video as well, too. They're reverting back to human connections, right? Those are my thoughts. Of course, I want to hear yours down in the comment section below. As always, the likes, the comments, the subscribes are all greatly appreciated. I will catch you guys on the next one.